Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 16 Japanese Grand Prix, and I'm back again tonight in the commentary box in a stand for STB Maudi, and I'm joined alongside with Rigsy yet again. Rigsy, how are you today?
Oh, thanks for that introduction, Mercury. I'm doing well on this Monday evening. I'm looking forward to some racing at Suzuka. It's one of my personal favourites in terms of spectating. Driving it's another matter entirely. It's a very iconic circuit here in Formula One. You've got very iconic corners such as the S section in the first sector. You've got Dunlop, Digna 1 and 2, 130R, Spoon, the Castle Chicane. Like, you could practically name every corner, and everybody just loves Japan. And that's because anonymous and calendar, and it is a really challenging, really narrow, so I feel like wheel-to-wheel action will be very restricted, but I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of battle in the pits when it comes to strategy. I'm seeing it's raining, which will already increase the challenge for like an extra 100%, so I'm looking forward to see how the drivers set up the car and navigate these conditions.
Yeah, it is one of those classic tracks, I think, remaining on the circuit. Obviously, they are very similar to Monza, Spa, Japan. They're some of the biggest tracks on the calendar and the ones that the drivers enjoy the most. But yeah, we've got a wet qualifying session here, Rigsy. Intermediate tyres for now. Obviously, we don't know what the race is going to be like, so people could possibly be running dry setups in this session. So that would definitely be something to watch out for. But I will come back to that in a minute, as we do have STB Maudi in the party for a qualifying interview. STB Maudi is in the Mercedes seat tonight, and he will be for the rest of the season, I believe. So yeah, Maudi, if you'd like to include your audio, and we'll give you a quick interview. Okay, so we'll start off with you. Obviously, long time out of the game in terms of in the league driving. How do you feel? Do you feel confident on your return?
I've done a lot of preparation for this race. I'm happy with my pace at the moment. I believe I am the slowest driver at the moment. I'm still getting to grips. But I'm not very happy about the qualifying weather. The race is going to be quite hard as well, because there is a chance of rain, it says in the race. So
Okay.
I just need to qualifying, you don't win it in qualifying, you win it in the race. So I think I'm just going to keep out of trouble, defend my position, and just try my best to have the best result as possible.
Do you think that because of possibly it being a heavily two sessions heavily involved with wet weather, is that going to benefit you, or would you have preferred that to have possibly stayed dry?
I would have preferred dry, because I've done more dry running, but I think it was inevitable. I think raining in Japan, so we'll just have to see.
I will add one more question on. Obviously, as I said, you've been away for a long time, but you have been doing a lot of practice this week. Is Japan one of your favourite circuits, or is it one that you would rather give a miss, and you're just sort of getting back into your groove?
Favourite circuits on this game, yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the interview, Maudi. We'll let you get on in this session, and best of luck. So, Rigsy, we are currently already 5 minutes down into this session. Nobody to set a time yet. I'm currently on board with VRT Eke. Obviously, he's just changed his gamer tag, but it is still the same driver. Joule as well is clinical, for those that did not know. Yeah, I think with it being wet weather, it's definitely going to spice things up, as we were saying beforehand. You know, Japan itself is a hard enough circuit to get rhythm around and get used to, and with the wet weather thrown in, I think they've got another hurdle to cross in that respect.
That's definitely kind of what Maldi was touching on in his interview there. The actual level of challenge, the challenge rating for this circuit and the dry is high enough as it is, without having to add rain in there. Rain is a very known characteristic, like similar to like Spa and America, where it can just rain like that. Like Japan's more or less the same, and it has had a history of having really torrential wet races. Like obviously you'll remember Fuji when it was James Hunt and Nicky Lauda back in '76, '94 with Michael Schumacher. It was like you couldn't even see 2 feet in front of you. Never mind in the clear or the spray, like it was just that heavy. Even in more recent times, 2014 was a really wet session as well, all weekend as well. So like it definitely does have a presence here in Japan, and it definitely increases the challenge for these drivers. So I do feel like the drivers will obviously try and there is some parts of the setup that the drivers can tweak to suit these conditions. But I don't know if either I missed it or Maldi didn't say, but I don't know what the weather is for the race. Do we get any information on that? Did he say it
He
was
said
wet
there's
all
a chance
weekend?
of rain. There's a chance of rain, so we don't know if it's going to come late or if it's going to be very light. But he did say there is a chance of rain, so
And-
possibly 2 wet sessions for Japan.
And
Sorry,
that-
Riggs, I will quickly add, I didn't mention at the time, Buckley's already had an incident at 130R. He lost a big chunk of his front wing, so I think that shows that so early on in the session there's already people struggling to keep it on track, let alone get a time in, so yeah, it's going to be a
See,
difficult
that's-
one for some of them.
And I feel like Spoon is where we're going to see these issues, because it's important to carry as much speed through Spoon. Like it's a really obviously, as I was saying, and I'll just say it again, Japan is a very narrow circuit. I'm on board the Buckley news they came out the pits, and you can barely get 2 cars alongside each other, which is why I think overtaking is going to be more challenging here. But Spoon curve, you've got also your run after the hairpin, get some good traction out of there, try and carry so much speed through the right bend, and then Spoon in the wet obviously will be a bit more caution, because the exit curve midway through Spoon is easy to just unsettle the car, and the car can end up being thrown into a spin. There's a gravel trap on the exit there as well, so getting your tyres dipping into that, it's going to massively have an impact on your run
We've
down
got
through
a
130R into the
retirement.
chicane.
Sorry, Riggsy. We've got 1 retirement already. It looks it's F1 Gravity. He's gone off in the middle sector. We're going to ride on board with Fuse and see if we can see what's happened here. Yeah, he's off to the right. He's smacked it into the wall on the right. He may have lost it on exit. I'm not sure.
I
But,
think that must have been the incline up through Dunlop, the never-ending
Yeah,
left
it's
after
the
the
top
S's
of the hill, I
Dunlop,
think.
and he's just run a tiny bit too wide, and it's just completely unsettled the balance of that car, and then it's probably like him trying to correct it, and the car just bites. He'll also have the oversteer going to the left, but as soon as he tries to correct it, the car at the front just snaps, and it turns the car to the way you're actually trying to correct the steering way. So that can probably explain that particular incident. But that is disastrous for him, considering he's only 10th fastest, and he'll not be having any further opportunity to improve on that time.
well, as we talk about Gravity, Bruno Will goes top of the timing sheet by over 7/10 nearly. So he's setting the pace early on. We've got Urban Unicorn in 2nd place, Joker just behind, and then there's a bit of a gap down to Hamjam and the rest of the field. But yeah, we were mentioning about Buckley having an incident at 130R early on, and you know, Gravity's sort of reinforced that by having a mistake up at the top of the hill. So yeah, by the looks, I've been on board with a few drivers. By the looks of it, I feel like a lot of them are running dry setups, because they're just tippy-toeing round a lot of the slow speed corners. We'll go on board with Dominic now. It will also be, you know, whoever gets pole in this might not necessarily be quick in the race is the second thing to add. Anyone that maybe is risking running a wet setup, if there is a risk of rain, then obviously it's going to be pot luck whether it does come or not. But yeah, Bruno Will top of the timesheets for now, setting the pace. I think from what I've heard, he is one of the quickest round this circuit out of the top 3 championship rivals. We will mention the championship very briefly, Riggsy, if I get the standings up quickly. Dominic is leading the championship at this stage. He has got a hefty gap as well, down to Eke behind because of the results in Monza. So realistically, Bruno Will and Eke need a big result here to get the championship back on track.
And
So
speaking
yeah,
of the
Dominic's
championship,
got a 60-point gap, Riggsy,
speaking
to
of the
Eke in
championship,
second.
the protagonist there, I was just on board with Dominic through his lap. He was purple for the second, but whether that was measuring his personal best or the session best, like
Oh, there's
sometimes
another
there's a
spin.
small
Sorry, Riggsy.
technical glitch.
Same
Dominic,
position. Danny's off. Carry on. Sorry, Riggsy.
Dominic could cut the final corner on the exit of the castle chicane, and it's invalidated the current lap that he was on, but it's also invalidated the next lap that he was about to start. So he's dived back into the pits, and he's put massive pressure on himself here. He's not put a time in, 17 fastest, and it's going to be, with the way this is going to work out, it's going to be a final lap shootout for him to just get a time on the board and never mind go for pole position.
Well, I'm right on
and
board
Maldi's
with
trying
Urban
the
Unicorn at
softs.
the moment. He's on the
He's trying
softs. He's got them on,
No,
but he's not out
but
the
he's
pit
not-
yet. Urban's had a big old
Yeah.
slide through Spoon. Yeah, he's all over the shot. I think he's going to have to abandon his lap there, yeah. Urban's backed off. He may go for another run. Is anyone else on the lap that you can see, Riggsy?
I know that I can see
Right on
at
board
the minute.
with Kyle. Kyle's come across the line. He goes P8. So he's still got a bit of time to gain if he's going to want to get cement his place into that top 10. But that's
Well-
not bad for now.
Oh, I think it's important to note that the rain itself is actually stopped, and
Yes,
this will
yeah.
allow the dry line to rapidly come in and develop. So maybe
Well,
we
maybe
could
that's why a
see-
lot of them are in the pits, Riggsy. And we see, obviously, Bruno Wills has gone faster by 2/10 of a second. He's beaten his lap. But yeah, maybe that's why Maldi's on the softs. He may be waiting for the track to dry up late on. But I think it's a big risk. I mean, if you're down in Maldi's position, obviously he's not set a lap time. He's got nothing to lose. If he chucks the softs on and goes for a lap, you never know. He could get pole position if the track dries out. But for someone such as Bruno Will, even Dominic and Eke, obviously, who right now aren't really in the positions that they need to be. Is it worth taking that risk going onto the soft tyres?
Well, I always think the risk of shifting onto the slick tyres at the end is always kind of works in your benefit in a sense, because it means you're ready and prepared. I mean, like you were saying, Maldi, Dominic, and Joe. This I have no idea. Who I'm sure that's clinical. Is that
Clinical,
him?
yeah.
Is that his name change?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's fine. Right. Well, they've no got a time in. I mean, I can understand maybe Maldi and Jules, for example. Like, I mean, I don't want to sit there and disregard them as drivers, but they can go and do that perfectly fine, and it can either work or it'll no. But Dominic kind of needs to evaluate what the rest of the grid are planning today, because the track is rapidly drying here. The times are starting to get slower. The tyres are going to start overheating as the track dries up, and then this will allow the drivers to take unconventional wet lines like the go-karting lines. So that's going to hurt the tyres, it's going to hurt the pace, it's going to hurt the car. So I feel like the soft tyres at this point probably is actually a healthy shout.
Well, there's
so
only,
I
think, 8 drivers out on track currently, so I think they are mostly either waiting for the track to dry up or just that final run on the inters to see if they can nail a lap on low fuel. But you see, Hamdram's done 5 laps on his inters. Bruno will the same. So obviously, you know, these inters can go for a long, long time. But it means that they've fueled up the car so much, and it has increased their lap time massively. So I think even Bruno Will can go a lot quicker if he's done 5 laps on the same set of inters.
And that's the kind of thing as well, you're going to whale those intermediates down as well, and if you're going to be caught out at the wrong time on the intermediates in drying conditions, there's no point in even trying a lap. Eke's ran a bit wigging up Dunlop there, which is very risky there. I feel like another thing we need to mention as well is just how easy it is just to have a slight collapse in concentration is enough to retire the car. Like, there's gravel traps there waiting to punish you, the barriers don't give you much room for comfort. It's a very isolating track when you think about it, like as a driver. Like, you don't feel like you've got much room to manoeuvre and get around the circuit without having these constant pressures being put around you. Urban Unicorn shifted to sauce there, but it's back on the inters. Maldi's out on the inters.
Well,
So
I'm on
no
board with
seeing-
Dominic currently. Dominic is on a flying lap on Inters. This will be one of his last laps. He will get time for one more. He may go for back-to-back laps. But yeah, we'll stay on board with him on this lap. See what he can do to try and pull
Oh, and he's
himself
getting a
up.
slide.
He's
through that
got to get a
small
lap in.
kink there.
He's got to get a lap in.
And what he can't afford today is do the same mistake that he made at the Castle Chicane. He just clipped too much of the inside curb on the exit, and that invalidated his current lap and his upcoming lap. So he needs to watch not to repeat that same mistake, because Dominic will be starting at the back if that happens. He does go purple again in the second sector. Let's see how he manages the chicane. Locks up the front right there, but manages to make the apex around the right or left. Doesn't take too much as he did last time. Keeps the car
Very
quite
cautious.
tight there before letting the car roll, before centralising
Let's
the
go
track
P3.
there, the car onto track. Third fastest. So maybe into the
And he's backed off, Riggsy. So that's his qualifying over. So
full second.
P3 at best. I
Bruno
mean,
Will.
Bruno Will was a whole, you know, not even on his bank lap, he's a whole second ahead of second place. I honestly think he is running a wet setup. So this will be interesting to see. He has just come out of the pits. I don't think he's going to make it, Riggsy. Bruno Will.
I
on
don't
another
think
lap.
these people coming out the pits are going to make it either. Like,
Is
there's a lot
is
of-
it the same situation we had in Belgium though? We had a bit of a timing glitch. Hopefully it's all right on our end, but yeah, I think Urban possibly came out as well. Urban should make it. We'll ride on board with Eke.
Urban will make
Eke
it
is on
there.
a lap, but I'm not sure if Bruno will make it. And obviously Dominic's already finished his qualifying. We'll stay on board with Eke. He was 2 tenths down on his personal best though, I think, so he's got a lot of time to gain just in this final chicane. And
Eke's
he's
done the same
invalidated.
thing as Dominic.
And that's going to be next
Yep.
lap as well. That's going to be next lap. Yep, so that's Eke's qualifying over as well. Yeah, so Dominic's not on a lap. We'll ride on board with Libero. Libero's just started his lap, so we'll stay on board with him for now. If you keep an eye on Bruno, where is Bruno Will on the track? He's not going to make it, Riggsy. He's got 13 seconds. He's not even at 130R.
He's cruising.
Yeah.
He's cruising as well, Mercury. He's no go.
Oh,
coming.
massive slide for Libero. Oh, how has he caught that? Up the top of the hill again. Completely sideways. I think we've got a glitch again, Riggsy. Because the timing is done and there's no checkered flag. So I believe we've got a glitch again. So Bruno may make it for another lap here. Fusion's retired. Miles is retired. Eke's also retired. He's out of it. Yeah, Bruno's on a lap apparently. So we'll stay on board with Libero. See what his what's his deltas like coming through the second sector line. But all of the drivers have made it onto a lap apart from Matty and Jewel. Domi is out.
Libero's 2 tenths and he's lost it through with the
big spin, he's hit the wall. That's a big crash for Libero. He's managed to get out the way. We'll go back on board with Bruno. He's slightly down in the first sector. Is Urban Unicorn close to finish a lap? He is. We will go to Urban Unicorn now to see what he is in the second sector line. He's a little bit up, but it's not even close to pole position. But we'll stay on board with him. And there's someone else who spun. Is that Dominic? Or is that Danny at the top of the hill? We'll have to come back to that in a minute. We'll stay on board. It was Danny. Urban Unicorn now coming across the line. Can he get any time? He gains 10th and a half, Riggsy. So that may cement his position into P2.
Dominic's on a time as well, so it says on my screen. He's up by 3 tenths of a second, which will also put him into the 38s, but he's had a bit of a snap oversteer on the exit coming into the line. But
He's
he doesn't
just
improve
missed
3 tenths,
out,
still
look at
stays
that.
third. That's
But,
enough
Churka
for the
as
front
well.
row.
Jamham's just coming across the line. He goes P5, so a good lap from him. And Churka will be the last man to set a time. Can he get anywhere near the front row? He comes across the line now. It didn't look like he improved at all, Riggsy. So that is
Fourth at best for the Ferrari.
Yeah, that time from Bruno Will at the start was enough to even get him miles ahead of the rest of the field. So we'll run through your grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. So it is BRL Bruno Will on pole position by a long way. Urban Unicorn rounds out the front row in second place. Dominic, decent position in third. Churka just behind in fourth. Jam Ham and Ham Jam brothers, they are fifth and sixth on the third row. Eke down in seventh, which isn't a bad result considering he's turned off his line. DJ Danny gets himself in P8. Libero P9, and Kyle sees out the back of the top 10. So that's a big gap, Riggsy. I'm surprised by that.
Definitely does pose that question, like you were touching on, though, like maybe Bruno Will has adopted the wet setup fully rather than stick with the dry and then wait for the rain to hit. Like, so maybe he's taken that gamble, which is maybe why we're seeing such a big improvement in qualifying. The race starts dry, the rain, it's a dry, so
it will be interesting to see what his pace is like at the start, and whether Urban Unicorn and Dominic will run away with it. But
I feel like if we're anticipating rain at the end, like what Maldi was touching on in his interview and qualifying, obviously strategy itself is going to be a very crucial factor to weigh in that as well. But what Bruno Will, I think, crucially needs today, if he has went for the full wet setup, he can't be beaten into turn 1. Because I feel like if he's gone for the full wet, which means extra downforce, extra traction, like just the car generally no being quick in a dry condition, he could end up being a mobile chicane for most of this race. Like,
yeah, I think
taking away that in as well.
That may be his strategy, but obviously with this game, there's the slipstream is very strong, so he may just let them through and follow them until the rain possibly comes. Obviously, we don't know whether it is or when it is, but
like
I don't think he's going to want to hold them up and deplete his tyres, fuel, ERS. He may just want to let them go and follow them through for a bit, but we'll have to wait and see.
I feel like the slipstream itself in this game generally is a very strong element of driving. Like, the slipstream is a massively powerful tool at your disposal when you're in it. But I would counter that in a sense because it's Suzuka. Like, I mean, like Suzuka as a track is just like any other track, but like overtaking is possible. But here it's a lot more challenging. Like, see, when you're getting an exit off the Casio chicane, you need to at least be right. You need to be sitting on that rear wing of the car in front before you even get a sniff at the inside or the outside at turn 1. And if he's gone for a higher front wing or even a higher rear wing, then he's not going to get that same straight line speed. He's going to suffer all that drag that he experienced with a higher wing. So he might not have that same benefit in the slipstream. But maybe Bruno Will just kind of want to be in the slipstream and not really plan any overtaking manoeuvre and lead this race at any point. We don't know what his plan is. Like, we're just sitting here like throwing theories at the wall and hoping one of them sticks. But really looking forward to seeing how they incorporate the race in terms of the weather and set up strategy, etc., etc. I'm also seeing most of them on the mediums as well.
Yeah, we have got a few on softs though, which is very interesting.
I feel that really does swing things because the soft tyres obviously are softer, that's why they're called the softs, but also it means they get so much more grip, and if Jam and Ham can just hook that up, then we can see them beating Churka, even Dominic and Urban Unicorn into turn 1 if they get a great enough start.
There will be a big scrap in the first stint, I think, because obviously they're not going to want to be hanging around, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't think you can go softs and start on softs and one stop, so they may be counting on rain as well, unless they're going for a two-stop strategy, but yeah, we don't know. But Jewel is just coming through the final chicane. Briggsy, he is just coming to line up onto the grid now.
It's a Reynolds, the full grid's in a Reynolds sandwich here. You've got one at the front and one at the back, so Jules will be taking his grid slot here, and then we should see the lights commence, Mercury.
Well, it's going to be a good race, hopefully. You see 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. Bit of delayed on my start, but here we go. They're all away now. Looks like Dominic's got a good start. Bruno Will's going to go and cover off Urban Unicorn down the inside. See if there's any movement towards the back route. It looks like Danny's got past Jamham, but Bruno Will keeps his position into P1. Dominic right on the tail of Urban Unicorn. We slide back. Eke has dropped a lot of positions at the start here. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He's down to P12, Riggsy. Down to P12. And he's still being overtaken.
He's lost his front left end plate, Mercury. That's why he's not getting the same grip through these S's, and he's already picked up some wing damage on that start. So
first Degner, that is all right on the limit. Sorry, that was Matty up the inside of Kyle there. As we'll switch back towards the front. As they're all bunching up. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Eke, but Hamjam up the inside of Churka as well. That's the hairpin, so he's getting a move on already into P4.
Eke that must have been the front wing that we saw just sliding on the exit of turn 1 there. I seen a bit of carbon fibre, but I was unsure who to point the blame on with that. And Eke's just suffering so much understeer with that damage, and he's just creating this traffic jam, and that's already through his strategy out the window. So he's just sliding down the order, which is no start he would have wanted. The one person who got a great start there, Mercury, was obviously Hamjam and Danny, both up 2 places. Buckley's up 2 as well as Gravity and Miles. Jam on the other hand lost 2 places, and Churka and Hammer switched there as well. So top 3 relatively untouched, but the rest we're kind of seeing some shimming and shuffling about in the pack. As we see the racing point, the racing point on Buckley, trying to have a look up the inside as Eke leaves the session.
I think, I think he's had enough. He didn't come into the pits when he was going round. So, Jamham now right on the back of Danny through the S section. These two obviously scrapping as well, because they need to get moving up the grid as much as they can. They're both on soft tyres here. Yeah, obviously we didn't quite catch what happened to Eke. Just must have got caught up with somebody right at the start. Obviously it's one of those first corners. It's quite fast, it's quite tight. It's very difficult to fit 20 Formula 1 cars right at the start of the Grand Prix.
Oh, definitely. It's one of the tighter turns to start a race, and you don't really get too much time to think about what's running about you. You just have to kind of keep focused on yourself and just hope that everybody else running about you just kind of backs off or does it cleanly. It's a very tight start to the race. Track generally is narrow, as I'll keep bashing that one.
Here comes Jamham coming to 130. Is he going to hold it around the outside? Danny gives him a squeeze.
Danny gives him a squeeze,
has to back off there. That was never going to work on the outside. That was. And now, sorry, that's Buckley behind, going up the inside. They're side by side for the chicane. Libero's forced Buckley off. That's going to give him a shocking run out of onto the pit straight as he comes now. He's still in this slipstream. No DRS as of yet. He hasn't quite got the straight line speeds to get alongside. Is he going to go from the inside? He thinks better of it, and he tucks back in. But there's a bit of a touch on the back, and Buckley has lost position to Kyle and Matty. He's lost 2 positions, and he's hit Matty as well.
Buckley taps Matty.
So already these drivers getting quite aggressive. By the looks of it, it's Maudi and Jewel going side by side. We missed that there.
Neither driver.
Yeah.
Maybe they in each other's space, but I mean,
side by side again.
Buckley and Liberal gone side by side through the chicane. Buckley just getting the door slammed in his face, and Danny and Jam a squeeze at 130R. That so easily could have just been a plane accident there. Like that, a tiny bit of contact and Jam's immediately in the wall.
190 degrees, sorry, 190 miles an hour.
Imagine carrying 190 mile an hour for a 190 degree turn. I mean, it's not really that hard when you think about it. It's not actually that when you think about it, when 180 is just a straight. But honestly, like, it was very tight there, and honestly, there was a tiny bit of contact between wheels, but Jam was sensibly backing out of that. I was right.
Danny's side by side with Churka.
Look at Churka.
Is he going to make it around the outside?
He makes it what?
Great move from Danny, but that is going to set Churka up. Miles is out. Miles is out of the Grand Prix, and it is a safety car. So Miles at 130R. We'll go on with Eke.
They've made contact, both cars in the wall.
Dommy's out as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. We missed that again, but that is a massive accident at 130R. They were both off in the gravel trap. So wow, what a start to the race, Rigsy. And we have Jewel and Maldi into the pits on hard tyres here. I don't think anybody else had time to react.
Hard tyres to the end might be a sensible option, but I mean, unfortunately, we never caught it. Maybe also from what we can put together, they've maybe just made contact, maybe like the same as what it was with DJ Danny and Jam Ham into the 130, and instead of the tight squeeze to the wee bit of contact, and both of them able to continue. Both of them have just sustained damage in the process, and the cars have just shot straight into the exit wall, which is something that you don't really get. In a sense, we're quite glad not to see it, but both drivers are out and retiring for that. So we're already 2 cars down on lap 4, and we're under safety car conditions.
Matty is disconnected from the session by the looks of it as well. And get back in this race. But yeah, I think from the start, the top 3 didn't really make any gains. They were all sort of in line, following each other, but big scrap in the midfield so far. Hamjam making his way past Chirka as well as DJ Dan as well. Jamham's still stuck behind him, so he may have missed his opportunity here to possibly get onto this front train, but we'll have to see. There's another lap on the safety car at least. They are all in the train, but it's only been 1 lap, so there will be at least 1 more. But it is looking overcast. Sorry to interrupt you there, Riggsy. It is still looking very overcast, so the threat of rain is still there. And we have 2 people pitting. Sorry, Riggsy.
It's the brothers.
A lot of positions. They're on the mediums.
Sacrificing track position.
That's a big risk though, Riggsy. I think realistically they only had what, 2-3 laps of racing on this off, so obviously they're gonna wear out quickly. But why did they not pit at the start? I'm not sure if they had enough time to react, or whether they'd already gone past the pit entrance. But I've gone from P4 and P6 down to 15th and 16th. So it's a big loss in terms of track position.
Oh, definitely. I feel like track position is it's similar. I would rank Japan for track position in the same category as Monaco and your Singapores. I feel like that's how much of an importance that track position really has here. But maybe they're just thinking that while DJ Danny out in the softs and everybody else on the mediums on 4 laps, obviously DJ Danny's going to experience a lot more tyre wear being on the softest compounded tyre. So he'll have to come in around about lap 10, 11 anyway. I feel like that's when his expected pit window is around about. But Ham and Jam are maybe just seeing this safety car period as a chance to properly stretch to the rain period that we're anticipating with this
supposedly
swarm of clouds. This swarm of clouds.
We could be in for a lot of disappointment, Riggsy, if it doesn't actually come. And Maldi's been given a 5-second time penalty under safety car, and he's been given a 10-second for exceeding track limit. I'm not sure what's gone on there, Riggsy. He's left the session.
Oh, he's just getting penalties left, right and centre.
Another 5-second one. I'm not sure what's happening. Safety car's in this lap. We will cut back to the front of the field.
And he's going to ruin the safety car restart for everybody.
He's going to hold the back 3 up. Here we go. Bruno will really backing everybody up into this final chicane. Obviously, there's going to be no DRS off the start, but Urban's looking to jump straight away. It's a bit of contact between them 2. And Bruno Will has gone. He's bolted it out the final corner. So yeah, away they go, Riggsy, on lap 6 of the Grand Prix now. Urban Yukon looking a bit too far back. It was a good restart from Bruno Will. As we look behind, Danny is side by side with Dominic. He's going to attack Dominic. Dominic's been caught sleeping on the restart by the looks of it. Not sure if there's going to be team orders down there. But Kyle also right at the back of Libero for P6 of the Grand Prix. Yeah, I mean, Dominic's caught straight back up to Urban, but off the restart, he lost a lot of time. Sorry, we see
you don't
Libero and Churka side by side for first decking there again. And it looks like
Libero's going to get a
go
run, try to run outside.
tight in there, he backs out of it. He's going to try and go around the outside now. He's going to get the squeeze from Churka. Churka actually leaves him enough room. Is he going to get a run going into Spoon, Riggsy?
Let's see what he does. Trucker doesn't opt to defend, but is Libero going to try and outbrake the Ferrari into Spoon. That just decides to go against it, so he's going to plan his run into 130R.
Matty off the track. Matty side by side with Gravity now. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he nearly hit the back of Buckley there. But...
And Libero isn't going to get an opportunity into 130R, but he might get it into the braking zone at the chicane.
He
is quite close.
He is close. He's not gone for it. We'll switch back to Hiro Matty. He doesn't go for the move either. Yeah. I mean, Matty was off at Spoon Curve. I'm not sure, again, what happened with him and I believe it was Buckley. But I don't think any damage for either driver on that one, so they look alright. But yeah, Kyle's really on the back of Libero now. And this battle for P5, Play, Gravity, and the rest of the field basically following just close behind. See if they can get something here. But Churka's lost 1.8 seconds already to DJ Danny in front. So they've definitely lost this train.
Churka's really been to grips with the tyres and the conditions so far in these first 7 laps. He's just got a real feel for it. His pace is significantly slower. I'm looking at the fastest lap there was like the fastest lap average between the top 3 is a 1:32.1. In between the top 3 and his is a 32.5. So if the top 3 are lapping at a 32.1 average, and he's looking at a 32.5, he's losing half a second to 3/4 of a second a lap in terms of distance that he's losing. So Churka really up to speed in these early stages, and his fastest lap in measurement with the first 3 really show that.
Side by side through 130R, Hamjam on the outside of Toxic Fusion. That is a fantastic move. That was Alonso on Michael Schumacher-esque there. That was very, very brave, but he's got the move done on Fusion, and his brother Janham's also got the move done as Fusion have an awful run out the chicane as well. That was a fantastic move from Hamjam.
Unfortunately, I've never seen it, but I'll look forward to seeing that one back in the stream. Love to see moves like that where you're just pitting bravery right at the front of your action and seeing Hamjam making the move very similar to what you were saying, Alonso and Schumacher in 2005. So if you're regarding it that highly, I'm very much looking forward to seeing it back on the stream. But I'm really starting to see the brothers really kind of keeping close links between each other, and I feel like these two might actually start working together to try and cut through this field and this train in front of the truck is starting to build up behind them. So maybe we might see like a bit of teamwork here for the two.
Well, they've made a lot of positions up already from the safety car restart up to P11 and 12 respectively, and they are in that big train for P5. So we'll have to wait and see if the train stays in one piece. It looks as if somebody's fallen off the back of that train a little bit, but they're pretty much all unastern. The front 3 are very similar. We'll go on board with Libero, see if he makes a move into...
And there's some action with Gravity and Buckley. Buckley had to go defensive there, Mercury, sorry, just to cut across you there, but I'm starting to see a bit of action at the front of this train with Libero, like you were saying. Churka getting a slow exit at the Castle Chicane, and he's gone for it. Churka's defending the middle of the track here, but he's got Libero up the inside. Libero makes the move into turn 1 as Churka.
And they're side by side. Kyle's going for the move as well.
And Kyle's trying to put his hand in this battle as well.
Yeah, it's starting to kick off in here. It's a pretty straightforward move from Libero. He did look like the quicker driver out of the two, so whether he'll drive away from this train now, we'll have to wait and see. But Churka seems to be struggling quite a lot as Kyle goes wide, top of the hill. Didn't lose too much time. But Buckley now right on the back of this train. He's bringing along Gravity, Matty, and Hamjam and Janham. So This will be provisional battle for P5 for now.
Oh,
obviously.
and jumping on Hamjam, sorry, he's already got a run on Matty. Matty and Hamjam gone side by side through the right kink here. Hamjam will probably have the line into Spoon, but Matty's got the
Has
speed
to back out.
through the right kink there. But
Matt's
he's
gone
outbreaking himself, he's
miles
right.
off. He comes
and
back
he's-
very dangerously there. That's not too good. But now Hamjam's going to go up the inside. This should be a simple move for him. We'll see if Matty fights it. As he's up the inside. Matty does fight it. They've had a little bit of contact on the exit there, but Hamjam gets the move again. Another move into 130R. He is making progress up the field.
Hamjam really starting to siphon his way through the pack there. Brilliant battle between the two there. Matty
Kyle's
did
going for the
outbreak
move
the
again.
cell into Spoon.
He's going to hold it around the outside. That's a brilliant move again.
And he's done it.
Can he make it stick?
On Chucker's
He
looking.
can. Brilliant move again. Into turn one, round the outside. Churka trying to defend, but he just hasn't got the grip at the moment.
Kyle left the door open on the inside of turn 2 for Chucker to retaliate, but Chucker did put his nose up, but Kyle, as soon as Chucker was in range to try and get the move done again, Kyle just got his rears gripped up again, and he got the traction on exit, and that's helped him keep the place. Kyle's up to P6, Chucker's just slammed him the other at this wreck. It really is.
I
just
think
go
for
up
him
and
it
get
is
from-
worth going for the undercut. I'm not sure if they're waiting for the rain, but he's really struggling. And you see Libero has pulled a bit of a gap to Kyle. We'll see if he can get back in the DRS range though. It's only 0.2 of a second of a gap to pull in, but yep, now Buckley looking to line up a move on Churka. So as I said, he seems to be harvesting a lot as well. Even he's low on ERS, so he's using a lot of ERS, but still struggling with the pace.
The slipstream effect is actually quite good in the sense that it allows drivers to conserve, so that's why we're seeing
Not quite.
Buckley had to shoot the car to the right there to defend the inside, but slipstreams and mobile chicanes like this that we're seeing does allow drivers in this said train to conserve on their fuel as well as their ERS matches. That's probably why we're seeing slightly higher statistics in this pack, like Hamjam's on 62, Matty's on 73, and Jam was up in the 60s there, but he did bring it down to 51 there to try and keep up with Matty down the straight there. But like this, the trains that you see here, but also behind Chucker, this allows the drivers to conserve. So this is quite a crucial factor that Chucker does to get this particular benefit, and he's massively struggling with ERS management as well. He's in the 25% range, and he's just using everything there. He's throwing everything at Kyle just to keep up, and it's just not working.
Yeah, I think if you look at the drivers who just look the most comfortable right now, it's obviously the top three, and I would say Hamjam. I think Hamjam is currently on for touchwood, hopefully a good result. Obviously, don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but he seems quick. He's been decisive with his moves. And if he can get to the front of this train, then I think he's on for a good result. But we see Buckley now is now learning to move up with Churka up the inside of 130. They're going to go side by side. There's a bit of contact between the two, but Buckley makes the move up the inside. Pretty easy for the Toro Rosso driver as he heads into the front chicane now. Churka's still falling down the grid as he still stays
Just
out.
that I think we don't have the information on hand when we're expecting this rain. If the rain's even there in the skies, we were just kind of fed that was just kind of fed to us. Chucker does luck to try and have a run into turn 1 on Buckley there, but didn't make it stick. Would Chucker really benefit from an early stop onto some fresher rubber?
Well, if at this point, yes, because they've already taken the mediums further than you would if you'd qualified on them. Obviously, you get that lap fresher because you don't get the qualifying lap, but the hards will go to the end from a very early lap, but the hards really do not wear. So I think, I mean, it doesn't look like we have rain imminent though, Rizzy. The sun has appeared from out of nowhere. Maybe later in the race there could be something, but for now I think they're on for their normal strategies.
If the sun, as you're saying, is like starting to break through, then Chucker could really benefit from pitting and getting some clean air as we see a Mercedes off.
Maldi.
And if they're sighting us Maori,
Yeah,
the
he's on
return
the
that you would
wall.
have dreamed of.
It's not been the best race for him. It's been a quiet one in his return. Now Gravity's lining up a move on Churka. He's still struggling as he locks up into the chicane. Gravity may look to line up a move. Looks like he is going to try and line him up with DRS and Slipstream into turn 1. We see DJ Danny coming into the pits finally. So yep, Slipstream for Gravity. Churka has gone defensive, and Gravity's going to try and hold the move around the outside, but he has to back out of that. But he's gone for the switchback, but Churka defends well. And he keeps the position for now. So we see Dominic right on the back of Urban. He may be wanting to make a move soon. We'll keep an eye on that battle as well.
And for the Ham and Jam brothers to really benefit for the early stop under the safety car, they need to get by this train as well to try and maximise the potential still on the fresher rubber that they're on. Because they're on 4-lap fresher rubber. I feel like the drivers running a bit like Chukka, Gravity, Matty, Fusion, all they're on 12-lap old mediums, whereas they're only 9. So they need to get by and get some clean air to still get the best out of their cars before they start going off. There as well. Chukka definitely do feel that he should benefit from an early stop and shift onto the hards.
Well, I will add, Danny went a long way on those soft tyres and didn't really drop off. You know, he's gone 13, he's only just come to the pits, he's gone 13 laps on a set of soft tyres, so that's great time management from him. He can go mediums to the end now. It'd be interesting to see when the rest of the field pits, though. They may go for a medium to soft. I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing.
I think the drivers in the midfield know that Churka's really hot on their strategy now, regardless of what one they're on, whether they're on to try and stretch these mediums to laps.
Well, Gravity's going for it again. Churka's harvesting, but he still goes defensive, side by side, and Gravity makes the move around the outside again. Churka is sitting duck for the second time into turn 1. So Gravity up into P7 now, good move from him. But you can see he was harvesting energy, but going defensive. So I'm not really sure what his move is from now. I'm not sure if he's trying to battle these guys or what. But he's definitely Dominic pushing Urban through the hairpin. He seems to be pushing a lot. He's got 65% of his ERS. Bruno Will surprisingly has the most out of the 3 rigs, even being the lead train. But it looks as if Dominic is turning up the heat now, and he may be trying to go for a move on Urban anytime soon.
Definitely looking to be puncher between the two anyway, up at the front. Bruno Will just kind of seems to be running his own race, but with them in close proximity of the Renault driver there. But same kind of rule applies here, like the same rule of thumb. Like one of these drivers could benefit from an early stop and try an undercut, like you're saying for Churka.
Hamjam's now lining up a move, Rigsy. He's still going back up the inside. Hamjam up the inside of the chain. They're going to be side by side. Churka holds it. It's not going to help his exit speed though. Hamjam gets a fantastic exit. Churka with a bit of a slide. He's still harvesting ERS. They're side by side coming down the pit straight. Hamjam looks to have made the move done, but no, Churka's still going to hold it up the inside. But no, Hamjam's got the better line.
He makes it
around the outside, and he's made it up into P8 now.
Ferrari just gone backwards again there, and he's leaving himself no alternative but to harvest and save the energy, because he's sitting here burning it all in these straights, just trying to keep up, and the pace isn't there. So this Ferrari, whether it's set up or tyres or just driver confidence, is genuinely having a serious struggle at the minute in this stage. As he's just struggling with
now Matty's on the back behind already. He's only just lost a position to Hamjam. He's already got Matty possibly looking up for a move on the inside, not quite close enough. But Matty will be lining up for a move down one of the straights on possibly this lap or the one after, as he's getting a good run into Spoon. It's not quite going to be close enough.
Churka's just not getting a minute's peace. Matty's going to have so much ERS at his disposal down this straight, and even into turn 1 if he needs it. He's already up into overtake, and he's already got the run. Churka keeps the car to the left. Matty run to the right. And we're going to see the same move.
Already done the move.
Done before.
And we see Dominic going for the undercut, Riggsy. Dominic is in, Libero's followed him. Will Buckley follow in as well? No, Buckley stays out. We've got Dominic and Libero onto the softs already. So they're going for the undercut in this race. Churka's also coming to the pits finally. So yeah, it's just those three drivers, Riggsy, into the pits now. And we will see... Well, Riggsy, Dominic is at turn 1. And Hamjam is already at the top of the hill.
What is Hamjam going to try and keep the house at the end?
I think he might. I
This
wouldn't see
would
the point in
be
going
a
for a
blinder of a
two-stop,
strategy.
so... I mean, you see the gaps. He's only about 11, 12 seconds off the lead at this point. And if he's going for that one stop, he's got a pit stop in hand. So... this could be a very good strategy from Hamjam and Mercedes. We'll have to see how this plays out. Right on board with Bruno, Will and Urban. And we will see if they respond to Dominic. He was looking very, very quick. So if they stay out any longer, they may lose the position to him. You see Bruno Will into the pits and Urban follows.
Aye.
So we will we'll watch the pit stops. We'll keep an eye on Dominic. Dominic is coming through 130R at the moment. Urban may get held up by Bruno here. No, he doesn't seem to lose any time there.
But he's a lot closer. He's right there.
Yeah, we'll go on board.
Takes the lead.
Yeah, Hamjam takes the lead. We will go on board with Dominic to see where he comes out. They're coming onto the pit exit now. It's going to be side by side. Dominic's on the outside. He's made the move. He's got the undercut done, but they're side by side. Bruno Will sticks his nose in, but Dominic gets the undercut. He's got track position, Riggsy. That is a great strategy from the Red Bull driver.
Fine lines there. Red Bull got the strategy spot on. It was so close there.
That was
exit there.
any tenth of a second in Dominic's outlap, and that was it. He was not getting that position, but he has gained a theoretical leads, we will say, as for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're not sure how this one's going to play out. The gap to Hamjam looks to be about 8 seconds, so I think they can close that gap, even if he is going for the one stop. But Bruno,
working
I think
in perfect harmony there.
He was pushing just before, the 2 laps before he came into the pits, he was pushing very hard to try and get past Urban, and he just triggered the undercut straight away. It was a great decision, I think. But we'll see if he can hold these two behind now, like Bruno has for the start of this Grand Prix. But yeah, Bruno's looking quite aggressive already to get straight back past. Yeah, he's looking for a move already into the chicane, a little bit too far back. He's going to try and line himself up into turn 1 though. We see Hamjam setting fast lap of the Grand Prix.
That's because he's probably clear there now.
Dominic
this strategy's really starting to kick in.
But here comes Bruno Will. Bruno Will is in the slipstream. Will Dominic go defensive? He is side by side. We're going to go on board with Bruno Will.
Oh, and he leads him.
It's round the outside. It's brave. They're going to have a contact. They've touched a little bit, but it's a great move around the outside. Bruno Will's got the position done. Into P1 again. That's going to be... That's not the best for Dominic. He would have wanted to hold P1. But yeah, Bruno Will straight back into the lead of this Grand Prix. Dominic now closely follows behind.
And if these three keep battling between each other on these soft tyres, that's going to burn these soft tyres quicker, and that's really going to allow Jam and Ham to maybe try and go a bit conservative on tyre management and try and stretch these tyres to the end. It's a really big ask though, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. They've still got the pace there. Hamjam did just put a fast lap in, so I'll have to just measure that amongst what they just done. There you go. Hamjam put a 1:31.0. Yeah. Dominic just went 2/10 faster than that one fresh soft, so the pace is definitely still there. Yeah. So this could be anybody's. This technically could be anybody's.
The gap has dropped a lot, is all I will say. It's already dropped about a second, but it depends on what Dominic's play is. Does he want to go aggressive? What does Urban do? We just don't know. Maudi has retired on his return to STB. It was not the Grand Prix that he wanted. Bruno Will obviously setting a 30.2. What did you say Hamjam did that previous lap?
1:31.0. So
Yeah, so
Bruno
the
Will's already
pace
set
is
that
there.
bit 10 a second.
But it just depends
Aye.
on how they play this. And there's 8 laps left in this race. Libero's just got the move done on Danny. They've made contact into turn 1. That may be damage to Danny. It is. Danny's got front wing damage. Buckley's now got on the outside of him. Libero made the move going into turn 1. I think Danny just got a bit hot on the brakes. That's not good for his race at all.
It's definitely not been working out for him. I'm just looking through to see about penalties. And the only person in the front 5 that has a penalty, well, Jamham's got a penalty for corner cutting, obviously for 3 seconds.
Around the outside
Hamjam's got a
screens,
5-second penalty in there.
Yeah, Danny's
So
coming
he
back,
probably
yeah.
served that. So
Possibly, yes. I think the only 3-second penalty I saw in race was Jamham. But Danny's going to go for a move on the inside here. I'm not sure why he's going and fighting Kyle at this point, front wing damage, but he looked for a move at the inside of Spoon. Didn't quite work out for him though. But I will also mention, Riggsy, look where Chirk has come out. You know, he's miles off of this train now. As Bruno Will setting blistering lap times now, he's really pulling the 2 in front in already.
he's just, Churka's really just know how to pace. I mean, his 1 lap pace was, lap pace was enough to get him 4th, but the race pace is a completely, that's what the points are made, that's what the points are won. And if you can't shift your qualifying pace into actual racecraft, race pace.
Well, again though, Riggsy, he may have been running a wet setup. We don't know. Obviously, he was really struggling in dry conditions, and he was quick in the wet. So that would explain it, but obviously we will never know, really.
No, we're kind of just left to ponder that, and maybe it is, like you're saying, like it maybe is just the setup that's completely put him on the back foot, anticipating a wet race, and the more we're going through this race, like lap after lap, as the timer goes, the threat of rain just seems less likely. Like,
Well, I assume
I say
it was at
that,
the
and it's just got a bit
start.
darker again.
Well,
Like, it's just got a
as
bit
we're
darker again.
going into heading up to 130, it has a bit, but the sun is still shining. But I would assume the threat of rain would have been at the start when it was very dark, and obviously it never came. So obviously we don't know what the rest of this race is going to hold, but I would assume it would be that. Bruno Will's really up in the pace here. He's already got a second gap to Dominic in front. Dominic hasn't got DRS on this lap.
That is crucial.
Dominic has
That's
not got
crucial,
DRS, but Bruno is coming up. It's right on the back of Dominic when he's got no DRS. But Bruno is coming up to Jamham, so he needs to get past him as fast as he can if he's not going to lose time to Dominic. But the gap is 1.2, Riggsy, so he's got blistering pace this late stage of the race.
Definitely putting the foot through the floor in that car. Definitely putting the pace in here. He's already on the back of the Haas through the first and second Vegnas, so Jamham's going to have to make this car as wide as he possibly can. They are fighting for net positions, like they're not having to make additional pit stops or that, so this is a battle for the track and no for the pit lane. So Jam's going to have to make this car as wide as he possibly can. He's got his brother 2 seconds down the road.
I don't think he'll want to, though,
Bruno
Riggsy. His tyres are 16 laps old already as yet. Bruno Will is going to go up the inside. Backs out of it, though. Jamham's run a bit wide. He's going to have to line him up into 130R here. He has got a good run off the exit, but this has let Dominic caught straight back into his DRS.
He's no running.
Crucial.
He's not running any ERS down the straight, Mercury.
No, he's going to try and do it down the home straight. I think he's going to try and do it down the home straight.
The Hanna straight?
Home straight.
Did you say the Hanna straight?
I did not say Hanna straight.
The Hanna straight.
No, the home straight.
I thought you said
pitch straight, whatever you want to say. But yeah, he's gonna he's up into hot lap. He's now into overtakes, and he's just lining up the move onto the pitch straight. Jamham does go defensive into turn 1. He does get the move done quite easily. We'll have to see if Dominic can follow and get through quickly. It's crucial for his race to see if he can possibly still get the victory. He's going to have to get past Jamham really quickly. He's right on the back of him already. We're going to go on board into the first sector. It's a great run up the hill. It's not really anywhere to overtake here, though. Is he going to go for it? He is going to go to the inside of the Degner. Degner 1, Jamham backs out of it. He doesn't want to fight that. That's a good move from Dominic. That's what he needs to do. But he now needs to stay in DRS with Bruno Will. It's 9/10 of a second. Urban Unicorn looks like he's been let through. He has a bit of a twitch.
He just lets his teammate go.
Yeah. Dominic now, this is the most crucial part of his race. He's got 5 laps left. He has to keep in DRS, but it is 1 second. So he's going to have to push.
He needs to close this gap down and at least get himself bridging that gap back into a DRS window, because that's how he's really going to get into this. He needs to gain 0.2 of a second here. He needs a brilliant chicane.
He's losing time. I've only seen him lose delta time since I've been watching it. It's down to 1.4. That's 4 tenths in half a lap.
And Bruno was going to have Hamjam right there in his sights. Hamjam's already went defensive. Like, he's anticipating Bruno Will gone for it.
Yeah, well, he's trying to break the slipstream by the looks of it. But it's another opportunity for Dominic to try and get back in the slipstream of DRS. Obviously, Hamjam really would have needed these to fight. You know, if these had just fought for a couple more laps, you know, he's on for a victory here. But I think Bruno Will's pace is a little bit too much to handle, especially when he's got 18-lap-old mediums. It will be another opportunity for Dominic to get into DRS, but I think Bruno's got the pace.
See, in these slower sequences, like Digna 1 and 2, the hairpin, up to Spoon maybe even, see, because Hamjam's going to have slower entry and exit speed because of the tyre wear. Bruno Will's going to be able to go in and out of that. So if Hamjam's going to be able to push Bruno Will back, that's going to allow Dominic to try and spring back into this battle. So maybe Dominic's going to have to lay all his laurels on Hamjam and just being a bit of a barricade at this point, hoping that he can push the Renault back into his reach. Urban Unicorn's still keeping touch with Dominic there, but both of them only on the same pace as Bruno at the minute. And Hamjam, like his brother, is just defending it whenever he can.
He's got good straight line speed with the looks of it. Obviously no DRS down that straight, so we'll see what he's like. Bruno has got DRS, but you can see how much he gains in the braking zone with those fresh tyres. But he's looking very close. I'm not sure if Hamjam's even going to be able to defend this. He doesn't. He's letting Bruno Will through.
He's not even attempting.
I think that was probably the right decision from him. That's the best thing he could have done. Sorry, we've missed Urban Unicorn getting past Dominic as Dominic sticks his nose in. And yeah, Urban's got the move done on Dominic. Dominic seems to be struggling on the soft tyres. So we'll see now if Urban can close this gap. It's already 2 seconds to Bruno Will.
I think second could be the best Urban Unicorn can get, and even then it looks a bit of a stretch. Hamjam's still keeping like decent pace here on the old tyres.
If he can keep in slipstream DRS, and Dominic's got a penalty as well. That is not good for his race. But if Hamjam can keep in DRS and slipstream of Bruno, he can just drag him along for the rest of this race. And obviously Dominic's got a penalty. I think we said Hamjam is clear of penalties for now. So this still could go anyway. Dominic still might not be on the podium.
I think Dominic is probably going to have to miss it on the champagne this time unless he can get himself back past it.
Well, he's going to have to push.
Put the fit down and get that gap.
Look at his ERS. He's already used a lot of it, but so is Urban Unicorn. Urban Unicorn's very low on his. Same with Hamjam. They're all very, very low, in all fairness. But Urban is reeling Hamjam in. Not quite in a DRS this lap, so it's going to be so tight for Hamjam. See if he can hold this podium. I will ride on board with Buckley. He's right on the back of Libero. He may go in for a move into turn 1. The front 3 are understand, so yep, Buckley is going for a move. Looks of it, no. Backs out of it. Libero goes deep though. This could be Buckley's chance to go down the inside. It's just not quite got the entry speed, so he stays behind. And Churka's out of the race. Into the pits he is.
Into the pit lane.
It's not been a good race for him.
He picked up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and I think that was just him saying, nah, that's me lads, I'm calling it a day there. But
it'll be one that Churka will want to forget, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we're heading into the final stages of this Grand Prix. Hamjam has fallen out of the DRS range. No, he's back in. Can he keep this DRS? If he can keep the DRS, there is a chance that he can fight these two behind him. So we'll see the Delta going into the final chicane. If he can gain a load of time on the brakes.
The straight line speed might be the saving grace for him, because the car does look
Seems a
like
little bit too
straight
far
line.
behind the issue, and Urban's right on his tail now. He's not going to get DRS from Bruno Will this lap, and he's harvesting. He's harvesting, so he is letting Urban through here. Or is he? They're side by side. Is he going to fight this into turn 1? No, Urban gets the move done, so Hamjam's now down into P3, and Dominic's going to need to get past him as quickly as possible, as we see Buckley gets the move done on Libero as well. So he's into P6. 2 laps to go, Riggsy.
And
So I
Dominic
think,
does have the penalty in hand as well, so we'll need to weigh that in as well. So Dominic needs to make the move on both the drivers and try and claw in Bruno Will if he's wanting to stand on that podium somewhere, whether it's first, second or third. But no, he's
he
not
seems to
standing
be
on that at
pushing.
all.
He thought about move, I think, down the inside there. Just not quite close enough.
He needs a very, I feel like Dominic at this stage needs a very firm go at Hamjam in front, in the really hard braking zone of the chicane, or into turn 1 if he can get the straight line speed. I think turn 1 will be his best battle in the final lap, because he'll have the DRS if he just keeps the distance, but Hamjam's going to have a defence mechanism as well, so
Yeah, he's
anything
got the
can really
slipstream
still happen.
DRS. Dominic's really going to struggle to get past. And obviously he's got the penalty weighing him down as well. It's going to have to be a blinding final lap for him to be standing on the podium and tasting champagne in this Grand Prix. But here we go. Oh, Ham just had a massive slide at the final chicane.
Step it.
And that means Dominic will have a run. It looks like Hamjam's just letting him through. So Hamjam letting Dominic through. He may have been told about the penalty. We don't know. But he lets Dominic through for P3 of the Grand Prix. And he will probably look to follow him now, as we see Gravity going for a move on the final lap around the outside of turn 1. It's going to be side by side. Oh, they made contact, and he's done a massive slide, but he seemed to have held it. There was contact into turn 1. I couldn't quite see. It looked like it was a bit of a squeeze, but it looked fair. And Gravity is slowing down by the looks of it. I'm not sure. Yeah, that was a heart and mouth moment for Kyle.
Changing the Formula 1
Yeah,
setting
he's
for the
letting
Fast
Kyle
and
back
Furious
through.
there.
He's let Kyle back through, so... But that's good sportsmanship from Gravity if he thought he squeezed him or not. But he has let him back through. We're not sure if he will go for a move into the final chicane, but we'll go on board with Dominic. He doesn't seem to be close enough to make a move. But out front, Bruno Will still keeps the gap to 1.1. As he comes through the final chicane now. It's been a very good race from him. He has dominated from start to finish. He's led every lap apart from the 2 during the pit stops and catching up to the guys in front, but he crosses the line and he wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Urban Unicorn will finish 2nd place and Dominic on the road 3rd, and Hamjam with an unserved penalty. So before Stewart's inquiry, Dominic is on the podium. Hamjam's 4th, his brother Jamham 5th. It was a great strategy call from both of them. 23 laps on the mediums. I think it's very unfortunate not to get a podium, Hamjam, but he still may after Stewart's inquiry.
Ignoring yellow flags, Mercury. That's what the penalty's for.
Yeah, I think that will have to be looked into. So this is your provisional grids before Stewart's inquiry, but Buckley took home P6 ahead of Libero in the end. Gravity on penalties finishes P8. Matty on his return in P9. And Kyle did just about snatch a point in P10. Danny comes home in P11. Jules still only at Spoon Curve. It's not been a good race for him either. But he will finish the race by the looks of it.
So, who in your mind was driver of the day?
I think it's a tough one to call. I think Bruno Will showed why, he is one of the top drivers in this league. Dominate from start to finish. We've seen it so much from him. But Hamjam, obviously with that strategy and still possibly getting a podium, I think you can't really ignore that either. So I think it's out of Bruno Will and Hamjam. But what do you think?
I was more leaning towards Ham, but I mean, at this point, I'm kind of arguing about just splitting the title altogether and just giving it to both, like you see the drivers to drivers. So, but I mean, like both of them,
It was a very good drive.
excelling in very different scenarios.
Yeah.
As you were saying, Bruno Will comfortable, dominant, command, and Hamjam was like his racecraft was truly tested in that race, and there was time and again he was able to make moves, sensible driving, like critical thinking, planning ahead, and then the car control at the end with lone rubber is exceptional.
Yeah.
So I think both of them in very different elements.
Well, they
deserve
had
it.
very different races, but they both excelled in both of them. So we'll run through the grid once more. So it is BRL Bruno Will who takes another victory, this time in Japan. It was a great race from him. Urban Unicorn, second place. Quiet race from him, but good result. Dominic for now stands on the podium in P3. Hamjam and Jamham, two great strategy calls from them. They finished P4 and P5. Buckley just finishing ahead of Libero in the end in P6. As I said, Libero P7. Gravity fell off the late stages of the race, but not a bad race from him. P8. Iral Matti was P9, and Kyle with your final points position. So if you wanted to get the podium sitters into the party, and we will also get Hamjam. And we'll give them a quick interview. I'm not sure if Bruno hasn't got a mic, has he? And neither has Urban.
I don't think I've heard his voice. I don't think he's got a mic.
I'll try and get Dominic in here. Dominic. So it will probably be Hamjam and Jamham for the interviews tonight. If I can find him. So yeah, Ham, if you want to include make sure your audio's included, and we'll give you a
already done it, mate.
interview. So, I think an interesting race on your behalf. I think you can be happy with the result you got. It was a great strategy call, I think, pitting under the safety car and going straight to the end. You're obviously provisional P4 with a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's going to be removed?
I believe it should be if the stewards keep consistent with the penalties that have been removed previously, because it was basically the same situation as what happened to a few guys in Britain, where there was a big incident ahead of me under the safety car, and Eke's ghost car was involved, like in the middle of it, and they all overtook Eke's ghost car. I went to overtake it, got an illegal overtake, then I dropped back a load to try and let it back past, and it just didn't go past me, so then I kind of had to just carry on and go for it. But I mean,
well, we did sit at the end, and it obviously the results for now are provisional, and it obviously will be amended if it needs to be, but obviously it was a great strategy call from you. Were you planning on possibly going on to a set of mediums to the end before the race if there was an incident with a safety car?
Yeah, that was exactly mine and Jam's plan, actually. We'd kind of, because we'd done a couple of league races around here recently anyway, but we knew that the tyre wear on the mediums really wasn't that bad, and so we kind of said, well, once we saw everyone pretty much on the mediums, we were like, oh, we'll be in the money here if there's an early safety car, and lo and behold there was. So yeah, I mean, we got held up as well, I think, at first behind a few guys, so maybe we could have got on the podium kind of anyway, but obviously who knows. But yeah, still pretty pleased.
Ricky, could you invite Maudi very quickly? Just one last thing, Hamjam. Obviously that is two very good results in a row. Obviously P3 last week in Monza, and this week possibly a P3 after Stuart's inquiry. You've really sort of upped the wick again second half of the season. what are your ambitions for the rest of the season? Where do you think that you can be challenging in terms of the championship?
I think I'm around is it P6 or 7 at the moment in the
I
championship?
think it's around there, yeah.
I think if I can,
Yeah,
well,
P7.
Still be there by the end of the season. I think I will be jumping toxic now as well. So yeah,
Yes.
I mean, if I can be in that top 6 at the end of the season, I'd be very pleased with that, and hopefully get another podium if possible.
Well done on a very good race. You were voted joint driver of the day by me and Riggsy. So well done on
Cheers,
on the
guys.
race. Jamham, are you there?
Yes, I am.
As I've gone over with Ham, obviously you had the identical strategy, very good strategy call under the safety car. What went wrong in the end in terms of your finishing position? Because obviously you dropped off the back of Ham sort of midway through that stint. Did you have overheating issues, or were you just lacking confidence?
I wouldn't say stuck behind Matty, but I think he probably hindered me a little bit. But I mean, obviously he's entitled to do that. But yeah, he was in Harry's DRS, and I just couldn't quite get past him. And then I think Harry ended up getting past Churka and Gravity as well. And then by the time they all pitted, I was about 1.6 behind him. And then obviously the quicker guys on the softs caught me up, so I knew there was no point fighting them. But yeah, I think Harry was maybe a couple tenths quicker than me there, but either way, still pretty pleased with it.
Well, obviously it's still a good result. P5 is nothing to be upset about, but I'll ask you the same as what I asked Ham, in terms of where are you planning or aiming for the rest of this season in terms of race positions and championship positions? Do you feel like you can possibly challenge the top 10 in the championship and top 3 for the rest of the races?
Well, top 10's definitely my target in the championship. I think I can be up there. I think the tracks, especially in this second half of the season, have been better for me, sort of just in general, like throughout the years of playing F1. But yeah, a bit like Harry as well. I think maybe sneak a podium if I'm lucky, but just trying to score good points, 5th, 6th again. I wouldn't be complaining with more results like that.
Well done again on your P5 result. Great strategy call from both of you guys. Well deserved. And thank you very much. Maudi, are you there? I don't think. Hello, Maudi?
I'm here. I'm here.
Obviously, not the return you wanted, possibly in STB.
at all.
It was a bit of a quiet one, and then obviously not finishing in the end.
Yeah.
What went wrong in the end? Were you lacking the pace, or?
Joel, that's what was happening. Joel was very aggressive towards me.
Okay.
Had a few coming together with him. On my screen, he was lagging. Everyone else was fine. He was just lagging around, and then he was just, yeah. And then I did my Xbox froze or something. I don't know what to do. And then, yeah. I'm just gonna move on to Mexico now.
Well, obviously you've got another race next week, another time to redeem yourself. Are you confident?
Mexico is one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, so yes.
Good. Well, we hope to see you back again, and hopefully in the points positions this time. But commiserations on your result tonight. Well, that is it for tonight. Thank you to all of those who tuned into the stream. Thank you to all of those who are watching back on Twitch or YouTube. As we just picked up on, we are heading to Mexico next week, same time, 7:15 Monday night. So make sure you tune in for that one. Briggsy, it's been a pleasure tonight again. Thank you very much for joining me.
No worries. Glad to be here.
And yeah, we will see you all next week for Mexico.